dish. Today I am going to give you all of my best tips for dealing with dry winter skin. As we all know, the air gets ridiculously dry in the winter, especially if you live somewhere like Chicago, where I do, and you've got indoor heating, you've got heating in the car, which is brutal, and you put all of that together and your skin can just suffer. I'm predisposed to dry skin already, so in the winter it can get dicey for me. So I have studied and read everything I can find over the years for the best products to deal with it, as well as the best lifestyle changes to make it all a little more tolerable. So I have broken it down actually into 10 tips. I wasn't going for 10, but when I was making notes, I realized I had 10 solid tips and recommendations. And I have to tell you, I was kind of anxious about doing this video because I'm so passionate about skincare and I was so excited to make a video like this, and I just want it to be extremely helpful and well organized and well researched, and I have a little outline. Like, I don't do this for my other videos, but I did, and I'm glad I did, and I hope you find it really, really useful. First tip is be careful how you cleanse. In the winter, I do a lot of things differently. Most of the time I will just use my Clinique Take the Day Off cleansing balm, and this is great in the summer, but during the winter it can be a little more drying, and it really does take everything off, so it's no wonder. In the winter I will still use that when I'm wearing a lot of makeup at night to cleanse, but in the morning, if I have not gone to the gym or applied sunscreen in the morning, I won't wash my face at all. I will just rinse it off with water in the shower, and I'll use my toner and go on my merry way. And I never have any issues. You know, if you're prone to acne, that might not be for you, but maybe give it a try. It really does help you feel a lot less dry throughout the day on those days where you don't wash your face in the morning. At night, if I am feeling really dry, if my skin's just feeling sensitive, I won't use the cleansing balm. I will take my makeup off with a cleansing wipe, and my favorites currently are the simple wipes, and these are the ones for sensitive skin. But I'll either do that or I'll use a cleansing water like Bioderma. You can see this is almost empty, and I'm not going to rebuy this. I will probably get the Sephora one, and I know it's nice if you don't like the wipes, you just use it on a cotton pad, and that takes off like that preliminary outer layer of makeup. And I'll also use an eye makeup remover for my eye makeup. So once that's all off, I can go in with a very gentle cleanser to get anything that I might have missed. And one that I really like is Boots No. 7. It's Beautiful Skin Cleansing Balm for dry and very dry skin. They definitely have this at Ulta, and it's often on a buy one get one 50% off. This is only like around $8 for a tube, so it's not terribly expensive. It is not drying, it is so gentle, but it won't take off your makeup. So that's an option on those nights where you are just super, super dry. Tip number 2 is to get a very hydrating serum. Very hydrating is a scientific term, by the way. No, it's not, but I am currently using this Kinerace Hydro Boost Intensive Treatment, and it's sort of a gel. You put this on and it just immediately disappears into your skin, and it's got hyaluronic acid in it as well as other skincare goodies that are just meant to lock in moisture. And if you use a product like this, it just kind of increases that level of hydration and resistance to dryness as you go about your day. There are lots of products like this. They're not the most obvious thing, but if you start looking for them, I'm finding more and more. One is the Ceramidin line from Dr. Jart, and this is just a little sample that I had. I've mentioned this stuff before. And this is, they have a liquid and then they have a lotion, which is a little heavier. The liquid is not crazy hydrating. You can use them together. I don't know. I expected intense hydration, although I didn't get it. Now, Kiehl's makes a new super hydrating cream. Peter Thomas Roth has a pure squalene like gel that's pure hydration. Derma E has a hyaluronic serum. So I am going to link all those in the down bar, everything that I've seen that I would actually try, that I intend to try when I finish the Kinerace. But there are definitely some options, and I know the Derma E is not terribly expensive, but what you want is just a hyaluronic acid serum or a hydrating serum, and that should be your first layer, definitely in the morning and even if you want at night. Tip is to, after you use your serum, layer moisturizer and sunscreen. Sometimes I use a sunscreen with moisturizer combination type product. Sometimes I will just use a simple moisturizer and layer a sunscreen over it. It depends what products I'm using. I'm always trying new things. But one kind of sure bet is to find a very, very good moisturizer. And something I like is this Olay Total Effects, and this is the kind of thing you can find anywhere. But I just wanted something that was basic, fragrance-free, and no sunscreen. And then you can layer a sunscreen over that. I don't have a specific just sunscreen recommendation right now, but there are many, many good ones. Anything that agrees with your skin type. If you want a combination product, I do like the Peter Thomas Ross Max Sheer All Day Moisture Defense Lotion. This is pretty hydrating. It has antioxidants. It's a really nice product. It does not irritate my sensitive skin at all. Something else that I think is extremely hydrating is the the words are completely rubbed off of this label. This is a deluxe sample size, but it's the Josie Maran sunscreen and moisturizer. This is a purely physical sunscreen, so no chemical sunscreens in here. And of course it contains her argan oil, and it is so hydrating. I tried it out this past summer, and I went through most of the bottle, but when I would use it, I would find that my nose just felt wet. It was just, it was too greasy, and so I need to try it again now that it's really cold. I'm almost out of it, but if you are very, very dry and you don't really have an oily T-zone, the Josie Maran, I'll have the exact name in the down bar, is really nice. I want to mention one little caveat about layering moisturizers and sunscreens. It really depends on the kind of products you're using, which order to put them on in. If you're using a chemical sunscreen, often you'll want to put that on first. You can put your serum on, then put on your sunscreen, then layer a moisturizer over that if you need one, because you want those chemicals to sink into your skin. That's how they protect you from the UVA and UVB rays. If you're using a physical sunscreen with just zinc oxide and or titanium dioxide, you want to put that on last, usually. So depending on the products you use, do your research, ask your dermatologist, and layer those accordingly. Of course, the best way to take the guesswork out of it is to just use a combination sunscreen moisturizer, and then you have both formulated together. The next thing is use an eye cream, and this is the obvious no-brainer one. If you're watching this video, you probably already know about eye creams, but don't leave it out. Don't forget. A lot of brands will say you can use your face lotion as an eye cream. I like a separate eye cream. I want to put the perfect anti-aging cocktail in this area, and I want something that's made for my eyes. And the ones that I like right now are the Kinerace Advanced Eye Cream. I find this really hydrating, but it has a really light texture. And if you are very, very sensitive and you want something very natural, I really like this Pai Echium Anti-Aging Eye Cream. And it's Pai is the brand, it's P-A-I. But this is an all organic, it's like, it might even be vegan. It's just so, so natural. You can smell the botanicals though. It's not fragrance free, but why I liked it is because it's minimally irritating to the eyes. It's hydrating, it's very soothing, and if you really like the natural thing, this is a nice pick. You can probably tell by now, I am focusing on taking care of your face for the winter. There's a million other things I could talk about, other nails, body, hair, and all that. I did just see last week, Melissa of 30 Plus Some did a great, totally comprehensive winter skin video that I will link below. I loved it. She has some amazing tips. But for now, we're just focusing on the face. If you want to know more of my tips, let me know, and I can do a second video focused on the rest of it. But for now, it's all about your face. Number 5 is to cut back on your treatments. So for me, I use Retin-A, and I try to use that every night. In the summertime, I generally can. I've worked up that much of a tolerance, but in the winter, occasionally my skin will just sort of freak out, and I can't really see what brings it on, but I will just be parched and just unhappy. And it just like when the seasons change, you know, maybe when there's like a change in the air or some like mystical planetary alignment, I don't know what it is, but I will stop the Retin-A for a couple days until I feel normal again. Or if I'm just having a rough time, I will just go to every other night or every third night. So don't hesitate to cut back on your treatments. It can really give your skin a break, and you're still going to get the benefits, you're just not going to do it every single night. This kind of goes hand in hand with the last one, but exfoliate with caution. So a lot of people, I think, like to exfoliate every single day, and you know, with a Clarisonic you might be able to get away with that, even that might be a bit too much. But really, I've read time and time again, you only need to exfoliate once or twice a week. This is what dermatologists have told me and that I've read. And I found this to be true for my dry skin. So really, you know, question whether you need to use that scrub or your peel or whatever it is you do. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Just maybe reduce it to once or twice a week and see if your skin doesn't feel just a little happier. 7 is less is more with makeup, and maybe you don't want to hear this. I apologize. I'm sorry. I have a ton of makeup, obviously, and I love to use it, but in the winter, the more things that I pile on my face, the more kind of parched and mummified I can feel under all that beautiful makeup, and it's just not a good feeling. So one of the tricks that I will do sometimes is to just use concealer in place of foundation. And the one that I love for that is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This stuff is great. It has great staying power, but it feels light, it's natural, it does the job. That's actually what I'm doing today. I put it kind of right through here, put it on the top of my nose, here where I get red, right here and right here. Just little dabs, and I kind of blend it out, and I put a translucent powder over it, and it gives me just as much coverage as foundation. So you can consider doing that. If you do want to use foundation, use the most hydrating foundation you can find. If you don't have one already, I love the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. This just leaves me completely comfortable. It's the one go-to foundation if I'm feeling dry or I don't want to ever get dry that day. It's the True Match Lumi. Also, don't just powder everything as a default. Consider only powdering very strategically wherever you are truly greasy, like, you know, for me it's my nose, but powder is naturally drying. It wants to kind of suck up any of those oils or moisture in your skin, and if you're dry in the winter, you just don't need that. If you want to use a powder, which, you know, you may need to, use something that is not intended to be very mattifying. Use a translucent loose powder. I find those to be pretty gentle. I also really like the Hourglass setting powders as ambient lighting powders as setting powders. The dim light makes a really nice setting powder, and I don't feel that it's drying. Like the Laura Mercier translucent is really nice. Just look around for yourself, but there are powders you can use that won't just mattify you and mummify you. To rehydrate yourself throughout the day. And by that I mean, get yourself one of these hydrating mist type sprays. This is the bomb. If you take away nothing else from this video, this is rose water and glycerin spray. Classic soothing and pure skin lotion you can trust. Harsh weather defense. And it's not a lotion, it's a water. So glycerin is a very hydrating ingredient that's found in virtually every moisturizer you will ever see. You know, look at the ingredients, glycerin will be right up there. So that's nice. And the great thing about this is it's about $6 at Whole Foods. I will see if there's an online source for it and put it in the down bar, but I buy it at my Whole Foods and it is just so cheap. It is so cheap. You can spray it with reckless abandon. And the way I use this is during the day if I'm feeling dry and I just need some help. It's not the finest mist, so I will spray it onto my hand and I will kind of just take it, and it's a water. It's not lotiony at all, and I'll put it under my eyes, which is where I'm often really dry. Sometimes my eyelids are extremely dry, and I will put it there right over my eyeshadow, and it doesn't mess up my makeup, and then I'll kind of pat it around my cheeks, and you just feel so much better when that happens. Now, if you want to just spray and go, Max Fix Plus is a really nice, very fine spray, and you can just do this, and it won't and it won't make your face feel wet. If you just sprayed this directly on your face, you would have kind of wet droplets. So that's what I like to use. Number 9 is kind of the weird outlier here, but it is cod liver oil capsules. And I read about this in an article that came out in The Guardian by The Guardian's longtime beauty editor, Sally Hughes. It was like her best 25 look younger tips. But she swore that this really made a difference in how your skin felt hydration-wise, and these are cheap. I mean, this huge bottle was maybe $15 to $20 at Whole Foods, and it's just the Whole Foods 365 brand. But I was like, what have I got to lose? I'm going to try it. And I take one of these in the morning, you can see it's just like that, and one at night. And ever since I started it, I kind of don't want to stop. I kind of felt a little bit of a boost, and every little bit helps for me. It's definitely something that's worth a try. It can't hurt you, and I do not get any like weird fishy taste when I take these. So maybe that's just me, but I have no problem doing that. Tip number 10 for dealing with horrible, dry, mummified winter skin is get yourself a totally unglamorous but deeply hydrating product and use it at night. So, if I'm going to use a treatment, if I'm going to use Retin-A or another serum, you know, I'll put that on, and then I want to seal it all in with something like this. And I mentioned this in my nighttime skincare routine already. It's Aveeno Eczema Therapy Moisturizing Cream. And Aveeno, their big ingredient is colloidal oatmeal, and oats are very soothing. You could do like oatmeal masks and all that jazz, but this cream is just a holy grail, genius, hero, savior product. You can use this on your body, you can use this on your face. It has never clogged a single pore on my face. It is so soothing. If I'm just feeling really dry, I take off all my makeup and just put this on, and I am good again. So I'll put this on as a final step at night. It's not overly greasy, but it's not something that I would want to wear under makeup during the day. I'll only wear it during the day if I'm really, really desperate or having a reaction to something. If the Aveeno is kind of too much of a weird leap for you, something like Cetaphil or CeraVe, they both make similar, very hydrating creams, you know, full of great ingredients. And this one is for dry, sensitive skin. And yeah, this is a little greasy for daytime, but put it on at night, it really locks in all that moisture. And the last thing, the sort of extra for me that I cannot be without, is Aquaphor. And you can see I need to get a new one. I don't have one on hand. But this stuff, it's a balm. It's sort of like Vaseline, but not quite. The texture will stay put. It will not absorb into your skin. It will cover and it will protect your dry skin. So something I really like to do with this is put it on my eyelids at night during the winter, just to soothe them and seal in that moisture so they feel good the next day, and I can go on and slap more makeup on them. And I'll put it on any dry patches. If I'm having just a really dry night, I get dry like here and here, I'll put it here at night over whatever other cream I'm using, and it's just phenomenal. You can put this on your nails. I could not be without this. Those are my 10 tips for dealing with dry winter skin, which is just the worst. So I would love to hear your tips. Share with me. If you have dry eyelids, I would love to hear how you deal with that, or what you use under your makeup and stuff like that. So selfishly, I'm asking for your help. But yeah, and the stuff that I talked about here, obviously I could have touched on a million other things and other types of products, but I wanted to focus on what I know really well and what I have tried and really tested out for myself. So I've dabbled in facial oils, but I get a lot of conflicting information about those. I am not an expert on those, so I'm not going to talk about that. Humidifiers are another great thing. I'm not really an expert on that. I'm not going to talk about that. So all that stuff, these are tips that are tried and true for me, only stuff that I can actually give my educated opinion on, and of course I'm not a doctor, I'm not a skincare expert, and I can't, you know, prescribe you a regimen, but I really hope that this helps some of you. At least, you know, if you give one of these tips a try, please let me know, and let me know what you do. I would love to hear from you, and thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a really wonderful month so far and enjoying the season, and have a wonderful day.